Aloha, and welcome to the third and final episode for today. So, today it's just going to be you and me talking about where you are right now and where you want to be at the end of 2025. Did I plan this perfectly or what? You're probably thinking about that yourself. So, I know life feels overwhelming sometimes, like you're juggling a million things and you just can't catch a break. So here's the thing, we're in survival mode when that happens, and I don't want you to stay in survival mode. So we're going to talk about how we can work this through together and get to more of a stable place. Building that life you love. That's the whole premise behind the Aloha Life podcast. So aloha has three meanings, and I should have put this in the first one, but we're going to talk about it now. Hello, love, and goodbye. So you're creating this life from hello to goodbye that you want to love, that you love for, yourself. And there's something about living in Hawaii, like I did say this, it was a simpler life. And I have found for myself, I need to get back to that. I need a simpler life. There's too much chaos going on around me. And so if I can let some things go and if I can simplify what I allow in my life, I feel like that would be a success for each of us. So today I'm going to talk you through what I call my success path. And it's kind of how we're just, barely keeping our heads above water to that calm, in control, purposeful life that we all desire. And where to spend our time and energy. That takes a lot out of us when you decide to put it somewhere it shouldn't be. And so where are you right now? Let's start with today. If you're anything like me or, a few years ago, survival mode. It's impossible to just do all the things. We have work, we have family, we have our homes, we have other people we have to take care of. And it just feels like you're always a step or two or three or a million behind. And so I don't know about you, but maybe your mornings are chaos too. The laundry is never ending, the piles and piles everywhere. You can't remember the last time you just sat and had 5 minutes to yourself. Sound like anybody you know? I've been there. I remember nights where, dinner, I couldn't even think of dinner because there was just too much going on. And there was just one more thing. So, the kids just get what they get at that point and whatever I can muster up. But here's the good news. We don't have to stay in survival mode. So the first step is just acknowledging it's not failure. It's survival mode isn't failure. It's a season. And it was a tough time. I remember my survival mode, little kids, practices a million places, and just some days are just impossible to even think. So that's when I had to start getting some things in place and creating systems and just having the kids involved too. Doesn't that sound great? Like getting the kids, making small intentional steps to get back to the simple life that I really love. So next is where we want to be. By the end of this year, going from survival mode to stabilizing mode. Like you're not trying to do everything. You're not perfect at everything. Instead, you're just going to have small systems and routines that can give you a little bit of breathing room, get your kids involved, feel like you have more control of your life. Less stress, there's nothing better than that. And maybe even looking forward to something ahead. Picture this, like you wake up in the morning and instead of like all the million things and rushing around, you have a simple routine and it gets you grounded. Your home isn't perfect. I'm literally sitting by a pile of books right here that I need to go through. And it's not perfect, but it's functional. How you get a plan for dinner so you're not scrambling at 5 p.m. That sounds amazing to me. And you have to take the time to or you can even have time to go and take a walk around the block or just do something for you. Like, how does that sound? Like, that sounds so amazing right now. If it weren't so cold outside. That's the other thing about Hawaii. You can go out all year long. And so here's how I picture us getting through this in 2025. So we're going to talk from going from survival mode to stabilizing mode, one step at a time. And we're going to do this a week at a time. The heart pillars are going to be our guide. We're going to focus on these 5 areas. And this is the foundation for creating a life that feels simple and aligned and joyful. How amazing does that sound? So here's kind of what I'm thinking with each pillar that I just talked about in the previous episode. So we're going to simplify our homes, we're going to get routines, we're going to get decluttering, and we're going to make our homes actually work with our busy life and not hurt our busy lives. Empowering finances, we're going to take control of our money. We're going to I know people get so upset with like the word budget, but this is steps to give you empowerment and abundance. And, you're going to be able to spend more because you've budgeted for everything that could come up. Okay. People get my husband. When I started teaching him about budgets, he was not a fan. But when he could see that instead of all of this money just going out, we had money in savings. We could go on trips. We could do things for our kids that we wouldn't have been able to do without a budget. So budget is not a bad word. And then with our wellness, like I said, not diets. We're not talking about anything like that. We want you to do what's best for your body, and some mindfulness, tackle self-care, getting some habits going, getting our skincare routines going, just finding ways to feel more confident with ourselves. That's all it's about. We're not going too crazy. And then with our time valuable. You never know how much time you have. You never know, how much time someone around you has. And of course, I'm going to get emotional on that. So we need to find ways to simplify our schedule and put what matters most first. Okay, guys, real life experience. Lost my dad way too early, so it's hitting. And last but not least, travel and live with purpose. Whether it's, a family trip or solo adventure or just the everyday life experiences that you want your family to have, making a plan so that you can reconnect with yourself and the people around you. It's that purpose. We need that purpose and that connection. I feel like that's what a lot of people are missing right now. So, how do we get started and moving and going from the survival to the stabilizing? It's about small, simple steps. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. We're not going to just undo a whole room and expect to have it clean and organized in a day. We're not doing that. In fact, I have a challenge that we're going to just do a few things at a time. But let's take 3 steps today. 3 steps this week. 1, where are you? Take a moment to reflect on what is overwhelming you the most right now. What is getting to you the most right now? For me last night, it was a load of laundry at 11:30 p.m. I had to get it hung up. I had to get it put away. It was just bugging me. Is it your home? Is it your schedule? Is it your energy? I know my energy levels fluctuate. I need to do more there. Identifying the biggest pain point is your first step. What is the hardest thing for you right now? What is overwhelming you? That I want you to write down. Don't need to share that publicly. You don't need to tell anybody. You can email it to me. You can DM it to me if you want. But what is that one area that's affecting you the most right now? Not in a good way. And then next, you're going to choose one of these pillars. And I'm going to kind of rotate through here and there, but you're going to do a little bit with us each week. Maybe it's decluttering your kitchen cabinets. Maybe it's creating a weekly meal plan or a couple meal plans that you just rotate through, or setting a bedtime or a morning routine. What's one thing you want to focus on? Start small and build from there. And then last but not least, we're going to celebrate every single win that we can get. So every time you take a step forward, no matter how big, how small, celebrate it, share it with us. Progress is about momentum and not perfection. So if you're doing this for you and the life you want and finding that aloha simple life, that's what we want to know. We want to hear about everything you do. So next week, we're starting a decluttering challenge, but it's actually starting today. So I wanted to get you a little bit of a preview into next week. And, we're going to talk about it right now. So this declutter, it's by the day of the month. So today's the 1st, or whatever day you're listening to this, whatever day of the month it is, that's how many items you're going to get rid of, or you're going to choose a new location or a home for it to be in. If you have clutter somewhere, that's how many items you need to go through that day. By the end of the month, we will be at 500 items that you have gone through and addressed. So that's why I like this challenge. It's not too overwhelming. It kind of builds a little bit at a time, and you can just get through some of those more pressing things that are bugging you right now. So let's take survival mode and turn it into stable. And I'm here to do it too. I'm going to be doing all the challenges with you because I need them just as much as you. And I just want you to pick, those small things that you can do a little bit at a time and not overwhelm yourself, because that's the last thing you need. Anytime I feel overwhelmed, I just turn off. I am done. I've had several businesses over the years, and just sometimes I don't touch it for months because I get too overwhelmed. And luckily I have a good accountability buddy, and we can maybe do something with that. But I'm kind of here for you too as your accountability. And just, send me messages, comment on the channel, or just write it down for yourself. What is it that, we need to do? Or if you need extra accountability, I'm here too. So if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to either the channel or the podcast, but you don't want to miss the next one because I've already hinted what we're going to be starting and where we're going to dive first. So yeah, we're going to get some decluttering done, guys. It's the 1st, so I'm going to go and maybe go through my drawer. That drawer that everybody has, that one. So yeah. Thanks again for being here and sticking through this with me. I'm just glad you're here. And like I said, I'm going to be doing this every week. So join me. I did want to break up these first 3 because they are, a little bit more. I wanted to have all that detail in them. So I'm glad you stuck around. I'm glad you're still here. And I will talk to you next week. Thanks, guys. Actually, aloha.